Nobody. Oh, well, there she is. Come on in. Come on in.
Let's not. I won't go there. Hey guys, hey YouTubers, how you doing? Welcome. It's been a while since we haven't been on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Nuestra Comunidad NWI, and we'll be coming on live on AM 1370 and 92.7 FM, the Region's Choice and the People's Voice. Woo-hoo. Oh, Becky. Yeah. Becky is in the house. Hey. See, you were talking about it's casual Friday. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm going to the basketball or to the football game.
Oh, it's a football game. Come on over, Juanito. We got to get rolling. Rocking and rolling. You ready to rock and roll? I've been rocking and rolling all day.
You guys have really good music.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Smile, Juan. We're on YouTube. It's been a while. Hey, guys, don't forget to subscribe us. Getting tongue-tied here. I talked all day, all week. My gosh. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll be putting it more to use. We're also streaming and other new channels coming up soon, so we can multi-stream at the same time. All right. This is, I don't know, you guys can see it backwards, right? Becky, Porter County Commissioner, is in the house today. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I got this.
You be ready?
We're ready.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right. Buenas tardes. ¿Cómo están todos ustedes? Están escuchando WLTH AM 1370 y 92.7 FM. And you're like, say, what did you just say, Eve? Good afternoon and good evening. And happy Friday to you guys. You're listening to WLTH AM 1370, the Region's Choice and the People's Voice, and also on 92.7 FM. And we are live on our YouTube channel and live also on WLTH page and on Nuestra Comunidad's page as well. And Juan, you take a deep breath. You look like you're running. Slow down.
Sure.
Slow down. You good?
I'm good.
Okay. I can hear him breathing hard. He's been running. Did you make it?
Made it.
Okay, you made it. All right. The views expressed by the hosts and the callers of the show not necessarily the views of WLTH Radio, management, owners, and sponsors, and advertisers. What do you have over there? All that racket and noise and everything. For those of you listening to some sound, that's always Juan shuffling paper because he prints everything. He prints everything. Kill some trees some more, will ya? Stop killing the trees. Come on, Juan.
All right, so
what you got going over there?
October the 5th is the deadline to register to vote in the state of Indiana. So please take note of that. October the 5th is the deadline to register to vote in the state of Indiana. If you live in Lake County, Indiana, if you have any questions about the election, voter registration, absentee ballots, and whatever the case may be, call the Lake County Voter Registration Office at 219-755-3795. If you're downstate in the Indy area, Marion County area, call 1-800-622-4941. There is a website in Indiana for the state, www.in.gov/SOS elections. And you can also look at indianavoters.com for information. The first and upcoming presidential debate will be taking place on September the 29th. All 4 debates are from 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, with one of the 4 being between the vice presidential nominee on the Democratic side and the vice president that will be actually taking place on October the 7th. And September the 30th is the deadline to be counted. You want to make sure you're counted in and not counted out, because there's still a lot of people in this country that have not been counted.
Oh, yeah,
And
I know.
if it ends that way, a lot of communities are going to suffer.
Yes.
A lot of counties are going to suffer. A lot of states are going to suffer because you didn't take the time to either call 844-330-2020 to be counted online by telephone, or to go to 2020census.gov/count. And para información en español, visita 2020census.gov/cuenta. On that note, that is it.
You sure?
That is it.
That was all that shuffling, all that noise just for that. Por favor, regístrense para el census que es tan importante. Que mejor cállense, regrésense al país donde quieren o deben de estar. Y no para faltarles el respeto, sino para decirles qué tan importante es de que sean contados para el census. Si no, no hay dinero. No hay dinero. No hay dinero.
Oh.
Menos dinero. There's less money if they don't count themselves, right? People, come on. You guys are so busy on this little device all day long. Can't you take 10 minutes of your doggone time to be counted? I'm telling you, this is serious stuff. It's not just an election year. It's a census year, and we're going to have to wait another 10 minutes, 10 years, right? For 10 minutes.
10 years.
10 years for 10 minutes. I have told people that I know personally, sometimes they say, well, I don't know English. Well, they got it in Spanish. They got it in whatever language you want. Polish, Greek, I don't know, whatever else language you speak. That's not an excuse. You have an hour to be on social media. I know for sure you have 10 minutes to make a difference in your family's life, in your community's life, in the region, statewide. You know, we often complain that money stays downstate. Well, this is one good way we can bring it up north. Come on, can I get an amen?
Amen.
That's right. It can come up north, but you have to count yourself. And if you're pregnant, count that baby too. If you got twins, triplets, you better count each and every one of them. It doesn't matter if they're not born yet, but they're breathing. There's a heartbeat. That's another life that can have an issue down the line when we need services and we're lacking funds. Es muy en serio, mi familia, mi gente, que sean contados en este census. Census2020.org. It's a little warm in here, yes. That's because I got some hot mamas up in the studio. Yes, Hanifa Khalik is in the house as well. And of course, we have beautiful Becky to my left, and she'll be coming on shortly. You know, sometimes we start out with some announcements, but with some powwow information that you need to hear. You may not want to hear it, but you need to hear it. And I'm not here to sugarcoat it, and I'm not here to ruffle your feathers, and I'm not here to please you. I'm just here to inform you, to educate you, and to empower you. You need it. We need the funds right now, don't we, Juan? Why am I saying we need funds right now? Where do you see that there's a shortage?
This census is not for this year.
No, but this is a perfect example. Yeah. Why? If everyone were to have been counted 10 years ago, we'd have had more funding now, yes?
Absolutely.
But we need funding now, right? So why are we going to have to wait another 10 years to figure that one out when you can figure it out right now? That's important. That is so important. Bueno, okay, I already vented. Usa Eve. Okay, it's a little warm in here. Or is it you? Oh, sorry. Well, for those of you that are tuning in now, we thank you. We come on every Friday at 5 o'clock and on Saturday at 10 in the morning. And today it is a paid program. We don't endorse anyone. This is WLTH Radio, and this program is Nuestra Comunidad NWI. And the views expressed here are not the views that are expressed by the callers or WLTH management or owners or advertisers or callers, okay? And of course, we thank every candidate that has been coming on to our show and that is going to come on our show because there's still time, right? There is still time. Well, today, the day that we've been waiting for all week, right, Juan? You want to introduce her?
Well,
I usually do the one introducing, so I'm going to give it to you. You have the floor.
We first of all want to thank every candidate who's taken the opportunity to advertise their candidacy on our program. And today, we want to thank in particular Ms. Becky. And can you pronounce your middle name?
Maiden name is Matea. And family name is Lombardini. So most people just say Becky.
Becky. Okay, so you just heard.
Becky's in the house. I don't want to do that one up. Basketball Becky. All right.
So we have Becky, who is a candidate, not in Lake County, but in Porter County. But we are in Lake County where WLTH Radio is in the heart of Gary, Indiana. And she is running for Porter County Commissioner on a Democratic ticket.
Yes.
Very good. And so we have here Miss Becky as our very special candidate for Porter County Commissioner.
And we want to thank you. I know that you
pleasure.
are very busy, especially during this time. I see everybody running, and hopefully they're not running like a chicken without a head. Sometimes it feels like that, right? There you are. Sometimes it feels like that. And we want to thank you again for choosing to come on our show. We are the only bilingual talk program of its kind in the region and beyond. And we extend it, thank goodness, to social media as well. We extend it to other countries as well.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, our Spanish-speaking countries, we got part of Argentina, Spain, Colombia, Venezuela, and Mexico.
Hello, world.
Yeah, hello, world.
It's a very nice thing that we can do that. I've traveled around the world, so I have friends in this Facebook, and this technology has really allowed us to connect. And I was going to mention, I'm from Whiting, so I'm very familiar with Lake County. I've taught at IUN for 25 years, but the reason I found out about WLTH is because I have a lot of very special friends who have shows here. Burley, McCatherine, Natalie. I asked Ron to come down, and I met them because I helped Frank Mervan so much. And that's kind of how I was slated. I was actually slated for commissioner because while I was working the poll and I went into early vote, I went in and I'm like, hey, we don't have a candidate for commissioner on the Democratic ticket. And I just thought in any competition, you should have at least options. So for the party, for the state, or for our system, for our country, I think it makes you better. So that's, that we looked and we're like, hey, we still need someone. And I said, I'll do it for the team. So I enjoy it. I've always been very helpful. I said, so when did you become a politician? I'm like, not really a politician. I'm a public servant,
there you go.
I'm helping.
And that's what I say as well. I mean, I'm a public servant, but not in a political party or seat whatsoever. But they're like, no, Eve, that is a politician. I'm real. I'm like, no, it's not a politician.
Grappling with that.
Right, me too. Really I have a problem with that.
So, I've been in, like I said, I've taught at IUN for 25 years, but I also, when I said basketball, I've done a lot of sports. So just starting from back in Whiting, and I always mention my parents too, because I learned so much from them. And I'm hoping that they were able to, they still struggle a little bit with technology, but my parents are 90 and they've been together 5 years.
God bless them.
Sweethearts.
Congratulations.
And they were very active. And that's kind of where I got like my spirit and my athleticism and hopefully a little bit of my calmness. I'm really working on my calmness. I'm a mom of 3. So that's kind of my modus operandi is I listen to everybody and then come up with a solution, do it, and then cook dinner and have something to drink, like some tea.
So tell everybody, let me back it up a little bit, Becky. Who is Becky?
Well,
other than you've been teaching for 25 years. So who is Becky?
So like I said, I'm from Whiting, learned a lot from that town, just hard work, honesty, dedication, love, family values. And my mind still thinks I'm young, but my body is like, So from there, I went to undergrad at Montana State. So I played basketball out there. I spent a year in Australia as a Rotary Scholar. Came back here, finished my master's. I worked for Ford so I was we had a small print shop too. So I was in the union, Johnson & Johnson Wellness. So that's like my specialties, like fitness, wellness, sports. Then after that, I worked for the hospital, and that's kind of why I was so valuable because, at least for that campaign, because I was from Lake County and I've lived in Porter 20 years. And so I've coached. So I've been in like all 3 counties, over to LaPorte as well.
So you're well-rounded, huh?
Well, I'm probably good at a lot of things, probably not excellent at any one of them, but that's what's kind of nice is most of the time I can help, but sometimes like, just got a suggestion. I'm only trying to help. I'm putting it out there. You guys can,
So you keep saying you're trying. You're doing it, aren't you? Yes, you are.
What did I say I was trying in?
You put it out there, help people, connecting. You're doing that, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what is trying? You're doing it, Becky. So you are out there doing it, girl. I'm telling you.
You know what I struggle with, though? Because I think, with all of us candidates, when you're running or for a job interview or trying to make a team, you go out there and you really like give it your all. But then on the other side, you're afraid that you might hurt somebody's feelings, or you might be too much, or humility. Because I have my Bible out, and I'm like, ooh, oh, so it's like he wants you to be proud, but then you have to also be humble.
Right.
So
Amen to that.
it's a fine line.
Glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. Yeah. So
I really try.
So when you were younger, I'm gonna take you back to high school and middle school.
Oh my!
What was Becky like? What did Becky like to do?
Well,
See, everything falls back to way back. So I'm gonna take you there for a second if I can.
It's probably, I think a lot of it's in our genes. The environment does play a role, but a lot of it is in our DNA. And I'm probably, and I say to most people when they see me, I'm probably like the same person that you see now, just 20 years, 30 years later. So I was fortunate. I was from a community that was small and supportive, and we were able to do a lot. And probably a lot of the same things I was involved in have carried out through my life. So, studying, sports, volunteerism, and then specifically, I mentioned a lot of those activities. And then I have 3 children. So amongst all that, I really was hoping I was thinking a little bit to slow down. I didn't feel well a couple of years ago, so I took about a year off and got better. And then I was like, well, this is really nice because I get to spend some more time with my kids. And then, the situation came up, and it's still, but I felt that when Frank was running and IUN wasn't in session, it's like, hey, Frank, that story through his life, I've known him since he was a kid. And those moments then, and then when we were in pharmaceuticals, and then when I was on the radio and announced, I'm like, what do you need? And he's like, we need everything. I'm like, when do we start? Now. So it's been really, I've had to really, he's in legislative. The commissioner is more of an executive role, which
that was going to be my next question. What does a commissioner do? Not many people know to say that you fit that bill. You fit that seat, because they don't know what it takes to be that, or what it is that your responsibilities or duties are of a commissioner. Can you enlighten us in the audience with that?
A commissioner is relative to a mayor of a city, or a governor of a state, or a president of a country. So they're an executive role. See a lot of contracting, make a lot of decisions, suggest a lot of initiatives. So programs, facilities, all throughout Porter County. So we're talking about the Sheriff's Department, the Expo Center, the parks, and a couple things that really are on my platform. So, and I start from that family value, and I really ask people to take a fresh perspective, embrace that fresh perspective. So, we live right here on the lake, and we really need to focus on, because of what's happening with the current folks in there, fair contracting, sound decision making, and caring for our environment. And so that means we need a couple different proposals from locals, and that there's no conflict of interest, and that there's planned labor agreements. And then with the decision making, we're going to have an entity like Porter Hospital, and it's sold, and that money's invested. What are we going to use that interest for? So that's being debated right now. And the third thing is taking care of our resources. So we have a tremendous value up here, especially with our lake, and we're able to enjoy it. If others come in, we really need to make sure they're utilizing the right roads, that they're paying, that they're following the rules of our situation right now, and that they clean up after themselves.
Well, that's good. And hold that thought and other information. We'll be right back. We have some commercials to play, so don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back after these. You can take a deep breath. Scott, they're saying on WLTH Facebook that they are having oh no, you're good. They're having trouble hearing. I don't know what that means. But Facebook, is it connected to the speaker? Okay.
Maybe I'm not speaking loud enough.
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay. Sit back, relax, and get the mic close to you. I mean, if you want to sit back, just want the mic close.
Yet so many of them find themselves unemployed after returning home. These men and women have elite military training and valuable skills. Do the right thing, hire smart, and hire a vet today. This message was brought to you by Smith Upholstery and Slip Covers, located at 4487 Broadway.
What are you doing a third?
They are friends of
Something going on over
Yes,
there?
we have to mention that in Portage. So there's a couple of events before I get off the air. So this is tomorrow.
Right.
October 3rd is the Harvest Festival at Founder Square. And then the 4th, we're just talking about maybe like a and spa. That's going to collect for me because that's what I have.
This message was brought to you by Little Fishes in Gary.
I've done good for a year. I've done very well.
And you'll continue.
I don't have to think about it.
Doctors can tell you anything, but God is the best doctor.
All the way.
He'll take that from you.
Message from one of our sponsors.
Believe it.
I pray all the time for everybody.
Believe it. Believe it. Okay, I'm waiting for a response.
Unemployed after returning home. These men and women have elite military training and valuable skills. Do the right thing. Hire smart and hire vet today. This message
they're saying I can't hear. Let me see.
With 2 locations in Gary, including Georgia Street
I think it was.
They are friends of veterans.
Can you guys hear us? Give us a thumbs up.
Hello.
You know those little thumbs going up? Hear us?
Church in Crown Point. Pastor
Yes.
Dr. Danny Harrison and I are excited.
Yeah, I love the hearts. Give us some hearts. Give us some hearts, right?
So you guys work during the day?
Oh yeah, we have our.
This is your fun time.
This is my fun time. I mean, I have fun time. I live in Cherville.
Cherville. Where do you live?
I'm sorry?
Where do you live?
Lake County government.
Is that where you live?
Oh, no, I live in Chicago.
Oh, you live
in Chicago and I work at the government center in Crown
Oh, I
Point.
go through there all the time because my parents still live there. And I go like Klein and then industrial, Columbus and then industrial.
Okay, so when we get back, hit your points.
Oh, I already hit most of them.
I know, I heard.
Okay.
But meaning, I'm going to ask why you for commissioner, and then you go do your whole spiel, and then he's got some questions.
Oh, well, I kind of said it already.
That's fine. Besides
I don't
what
even
you've
know
already
why,
said.
but those are my whys.
Okay, well, I can say, besides from what you've already
Oh, okay.
mentioned.
I don't even know if I have anything else. Okay, I do. I have something. I have something else. Okay. I have one more thing. I try not to go there because it's a little, because we have this big thing tomorrow. And I
Just know that we are live, so it's just say, not live on the radio fans, but on social media.
Okay.
I mean, go ahead and say what you want to say. So.
It's not. It's just I try not to try not to go there.
803-6960. Mother Trucking Combines is open Sunday through Saturday from 10 a.m.
I don't hear trouble hearing.
And Sunday until 9 p.m. They're closed on Tuesday. All truckers and seniors get a 10% discount. Get here and truck on over to Mother Trucking Combines.
There you go. There you go. Sell it. Sell it.
Get a discount when you let Mother know that you heard about that one. WLTH.
Sounds funny hearing that name, Mother Trucker.
Unity. Yeah, I want to mention unity.
There you go.
So okay, right. Okay, write this down.
4, 3, 2, 1.
And we are back to Nuestra Comunidad NWI. That stands for Our Community, Northwest Indiana. But we're beyond Northwest Indiana, and we want to thank our candidates that have been coming on graciously to share their information as to their why they are doing what they're doing. And today we have Becky Matija Lombardini. Did I say that right?
Matea.
Matea, I'm
That's
sorry.
fine. I'm here myself.
I said Matija, yeah, the J silent. Matea.
It's actually, it's Slovak, maybe with a little bit of Polish, but a lot of people thought I was Spanish. And I wanted to tell you, Estudio Español and Escuela Secundaria.
Oh, sí.
Un
poco.
So I know all the stuff like Donde el baño and Dame un cerveza. So, the important stuff.
Yeah. I think that's the easy things for people to that's even better. Now you're talking my language. Well, Becky, we were just off the air, even though we're still live. We're talking about your why. You've mentioned a few things, and you've mentioned that it's always been in you since you were a child, adolescent, teenager, high school, college, and all that. So For those that don't know who Becky is, do we have a caller? All right, go ahead, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning.
Hey,
Good evening.
it's still good morning to me, Ron.
Hi, Ron.
Hi, how you doing, Becky?
Good. How are you?
Fine. Glad to hear. I just like to tune in and want people to know that I have a lot of friends who live in Fort County, and I'm certainly going to be telling a number of them to support you because I think you're definitely a good candidate, and I wish you victory on November the 3rd.
I appreciate that.
I know that you're a hard worker. I've been doing the Berlin campaign. Who's working there, working hard, is there. What you run for, you're going to win. And so we just wish you well, and anything we can do to support you. Matter of fact, I think I'm supposed to be in Fort County tomorrow. There's something going on with
Yes.
statewide. Yeah, Berlin is going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And Dr. Woody Myers will be there. So my intention is to attend there because we need someone to stand up, speak up, and I think that you will do that. You know, I know that in politics you have commissions, we have three, and of course you need another one to. But I know you know how to cross and be a Republican. Let them know that they can vote. They can vote either way. You know, you don't have to party in the November election.
Yeah.
Election, you can split. So it's very important that we let people know that if you happen to be a Republican, if you don't like that Republican, right?
Come on this way.
Okay.
Thank you so much. And Eve and I were just talking about that, so that's a good segue. That
Thank you, Ron.
Beyond those like specific issues, we're also talking about and they're like, well, you know, are you red or blue? And I'm like, yeah, I'm an American. So I want to make sure that I'm Democrat because of democracy and liberty and justice and unity. That's what I did with Hanifa. We want to, she did that right. We want to bring people together. So I want to be open-minded and respectful, and that we can all still get along. Because at the end of the day, we no matter who wins or loses, we all have to get along.
That's it. That's right.
And so and those were some of the issues that were happening with some of the folks there, and I really appreciated that when I was helping Frank, because I watch him and I'm like, boy, I really try to practice that calmness, that pensiveness, that helpfulness. So that had a lot to do with me being slated. That's, I think, my phone going off. And I asked him, and I said, "What do you think?" And so, you know, all of that I did. I didn't believe I would be this soon to be in. So it's kind of surprising. And I am, as Ron mentioned, I did have a lot to do with what we're doing tomorrow at Valparaiso at the amphitheater. And, you know, some of the qualities that you need: fiscal responsibility, hard worker, servant leader. And that's another, and I think people are really trying to say, hey, we don't always like what's going on, and we need some people that are more like us. And those are the folks that we really need to have vote, you know, early vote, absentee vote, go to the polls, because they are not happy, but they're also like, well, I don't know if it will matter. It matters. Yeah. And I, something I'm going to mention tomorrow at the vote, we're calling it Rock the Vote. When I went to Washington, D.C. a couple of years ago for the Unity, or actually it was March. We were going to go for Unity this past time, but March for Our Lives, because those kids' lives were at stake with those at the schools. This election, this is for our lives, and we need to really, really consider that. And one of my favorite quotes is Martin Luther King, is the world begins to end the day we don't stand up for what is right. And there are some things that are really not right. And when I was at Pete Laskowski's forums, another wonderful man, he was saying that there are things going on in Washington that are almost criminal. So
I wouldn't doubt it.
So that's I'm not there. They're the more legislative. I'm more the executive. But I really, when I was listening to this whole we were about 7, 8, 9 months. But I really had to do soul searching myself and come up with what my beliefs were. And like I said, I read the Bible, and am I flawed? Yes. Am I perfect? No. But I really try. And another really good author and a musician I want to mention, Stephen Covey, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and Andy Grammer is a really fabulous artist that delves into all these types of things.
So you have any questions before?
Let me ask you this, just so we can get this straight. How many people sit on the Porter County Commission?
3.
3. The commissioners do not run at large, right? Or do they run by a certain area?
They all the citizens in Porter County will vote, although they have 3 separate. So I would, if I'm running for the north, then there's a central and there's a south, but everybody votes.
Okay, so my question is then, if you're running for Porter County Commissioner in the northern part of Porter County, what areas comprise the north part?
Okay.
So that the people know.
So it would be Chesterton, Burns Harbor, Beverly Shores, probably Ogden Dunes, a little bit north of Portage. My goodness, who is calling me?
Guys, she's busy.
Holy moly. Okay, I'm going to move that. Oop, I was going to move that. Let's see, down to Valpo. So then once you hit like 6, that's center. So going across probably Portage and then across into maybe like Westville, and then, or actually maybe Jackson Township and then down. And then south, he goes all the way down to like maybe Route 30. And then South County is like Hebron and Couts and through there. So we live there. Those are the places we live. So we're in touch with our constituents, but the whole county votes. And so that's why it's really important on October 3rd, I'm going to Portage for their Harvest Festival. And I'd like everybody to
Great
come
time
out,
for it.
11 to 7. And I just saw that. And I really, because I know you have a lot of listeners over in Portage. So besides this tomorrow, which we can talk about a little bit more, we can
whatever you like. We need to let everybody know where you're going to be. Those that are here for her, go ahead and just give out the information. So where will Becky be?
Ooh.
Let's see.
So more than just me. Did you see this lineup?
Oh, yeah. You want to read it out or?
Sure. We actually worked on this a couple of weeks intensely. And so it takes a lot of, and especially to know the folks and get their schedules. So it's kind of an idea of the 3 of us, me, Garrett Wolf, and Bob Durrance. He's a teacher at the high school at Chesterton. That's going to the football game after this. So big game tonight, us versus Valpo. And then the following week is Portage comes to Chesterton. So a lot of my people, so I'm going to go and say hello. But for tomorrow, it is at Central Park Plaza. I call it the amphitheater because it's so beautiful.
Right.
And that's what strikes me as this big structure there. So starting with Joe Biden's camp, our team, they are sending us a surprise. I'm hoping it's Joe, but I don't know if that's going to happen. I think we're going to get one of his team members to come. So even that, we have Biden-Harris signs. So that is wonderful, $10. We pushed this back a little bit, the start time. So we're setting up a little bit closer to 2, and then the speakers will start at 3. So Woody will start first, and then Frank Mervin. So Woody for governor / Linda for lieutenant governor. She's at a different function, but Woody will be there. And then Frank will speak. And then we kind of go down with Luke Bohm. I'm going to look at my card, but I believe I'm going to see what, I think he's the state senator, District 5. Deb Porter is state representative, District 4. These are what these people are running for. Keegan Damron, state representative, District 11. Then you have the three judges, Judge Chittister, he's District 4. Matt Soliday, he's a Superior District Judge, District 1, and Mitch Peters would be Circuit Judge. Then there's me for Commissioner, Dan Witten, he's on the council, and Susie Talevsky. And these folks are coming to speak because we are in big races. The other folks on here that we developed this to, I suggested that anybody in our county that could vote for someone have their name listed. So somebody not every place, but their name is listed if any voter in Porter County could vote for them.
That's
so
smart.
And then I kind of highlight the ones that
helps
people
people
would vote
out,
for
I
me.
think.
And then we put all the fancy, all the absentees now, and then early voting starts October 6th, and then vote day. So, and then how to get there, because you can go on the phone real easily, indianavoters.ina.gov, register, request ballots. So it's very handy. They're mailing these. We've got tons going on.
That's awesome.
So we've got a lit drop to follow here. We have a silent auction. So it should be a really nice day. Social distancing, masks, if anybody's concerned about that.
Right, and they can come and see Becky and
yes, and all of our
do the elbow thing. The elbow shake. You didn't do the elbow shake one.
You know what I pulled up, and I don't know if it was because I'm a mom and I saw that show so many times. Parent Trap. Mm-hmm. And so, did you ever see where it's her? I think it's her nanny Butler, and she was going to camp, and when they meet each other or leave each other, they do this handshake. It's like somebody's like, "Is that TikTok?" I said, "No, that was before TikTok," but it was really cute. And I'm like, maybe we should try doing that.
Try it now, right?
It was really cute.
Wow.
They laughed.
So Becky, let's say now is the 3rd of November. Tell everyone why they really should vote for you. What is it that you see that you can impress upon the Porter County residents of what you will do as the commissioner of Porter County?
So
I guess that's the $1 million question,
right? I think that what they see is what they get. I'm not different because I'm running. They can see my whole life. You can go on Facebook, or you can talk to many people who know me. And I can see I'm a servant leader. I'm fiscally responsible. I'm a hard worker. I'm respectful. I'm open-minded, and I think most people, no matter which party, I think they appreciate that. At the end of the day, when you're going to bed and you're thinking about yourself and your life, that these are important tenets that we all need to live by. And I know people are passionate and they get upset, but we still have to be civil. We still have to get along. We're still human beings. So I think most people know that and appreciate it. They don't always vote for that, but we're trying to convince them to do that.
Any other questions? One.
I was taking a look at your bio, and I've seen that pretty much everything you've been involved with, you've excelled in and become a leader in that area there. So I do want to ask you this, as let's say a future Porter County commissioner after November 3rd, what do you think is the biggest challenge or the biggest issue facing the Porter County commissioners as it relates to everything that they deal with? What is that biggest issue in your mind?
So when I mentioned those 3 things, they were specific to commissioner, but I think as a citizen, as living right now, the biggest things for me are, 1, our health, because without your health, we can't survive. So we have a situation going on in our world. So we really have to get that under control.
So can I hold you on that for a second then? As it relates to the Porter County government buildings, because I work in a Lake County government building, and you got COVID-19 coronavirus. Do you think that the current commissioner, I don't know if you know exactly how he voted on issues they have to do with wearing the mask and this and that, as far as all the Porter County government buildings, do you think your opponent has done all that should be done as it relates to just the COVID thing and the Porter County government buildings? And if not, what would you do different?
Okay. So I was thinking about overall, so health, economy, and my kids going to school. And this is all related to this situation going on. So we are following the mandates from the governor. We're also looking at what's happening in our country and our world. And then at our schools, at the stores when they have it listed. So my philosophy is anything that I can do, and I've always been diligent and done good and had faith. So if something is going on, I'm going to try to help me, my kids, and other people. So I'm going to be considerate, wear a mask, social distance. I haven't worn masks, but I wash my hands, I brush my teeth, I do all that preventative stuff because I'm in fitness and wellness. I do that because I'm a considerate person. No matter what your belief is, you can do what you'd like, but I'm going to do that myself. So I believe that we're all following that. There might be some conflicts. I've heard some of, maybe the masks or the vaccines might have been brought in. So we have to, that's hearsay, and I'm going to be looking into that. But just overall, generally, that's something. And then I also feel that for us to move forward with our economy, like any situation, if you have an issue, those who test and are well should be continuing on, and those who are sick would be getting better. And then once they get better, they get re-entered. Mm-hmm. And that's how I think that we can move forward with our economy. And then with my kids, they all seem to be doing pretty well. Luke is in school. Leah's actually in quarantine in Missouri. She pitches from Missouri. And then Lauren's at Kelly School of Business. They are in just 2 people in a house, but I think one of our friends tested positive. But the good news is that we're getting through these now. Mm-hmm. They don't seem to be getting as sick. They are surviving, and I think we're moving on. And I mentioned I actually have lupus. Okay, so she don't manifest it, but I've had viruses in my system since I was a child. I had cold sores, I had the shingles, lupus, and this virus actually has one of the meds that I take to combat it. Mm. So I'm like, it's, but we can figure it out. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I have great faith.
And you are going to say from now on, you are healed. That's right. Can I get amen over there? Hey, that's right. That's right. 42 minutes after the hour. And it's been interesting. I'm feeling her spirit sitting next to me, because that's just the type of person that I am. And I don't know what you guys are feeling. It's great energy, great synergy today as well. And I want to thank you once again, Becky, for coming on.
For having me.
Yeah. Any other questions, Juan?
Well, I don't know.
You're strong and political.
He's so come on.
The makeup of the other two.
To go for coffee.
I don't know how the makeup of the other 2 commissioners in terms of party. I don't know the makeup of the people that make up the Porter County Council. So not knowing that, but just to ask you the question here, let's say you're successful, you become the next Porter County Commissioner in the northern area that you say you're running in. Are you going to be able to work with the other 2 commissioners? And as a commission, you have to work with the Porter County Council to get funding for what you're going to come up with in terms of contracts and so forth. So are you going to be able to work with the other 2 commissioners and the Porter County Council?
And I think there's a diverse makeup, men, women, both parties, older, younger. And like with any situation, if you've seen, I try to go in and get along and get things done. And that's one of the things Frank said on my Facebook. He's like, Becky, you are the key. And thank you for getting stuff done and staying happy and sticking around. So I think that's a testament to the kind of person I am and the future of our, not only of Porter County, but I'm a Northwest Indiana girl, and I'm an American, and I'm a human, because I said I traveled around the world, and I've got friends all over. So I think I'm involved in it because I want to do good.
And I believe from what I'm hearing, you have a track record of doing good. From what I'm hearing,
most of the time, there's moments that
we're not perfect. We get that. We get that. We're not perfect. Okay. And you said something key that touches my heart, is saying at the end of the day, what difference does the party make? What makes is the person who's serving to that capacity. Red, blue, yellow, green, whatever colors are out there. I'm nonpartisan. I work on always being nonpartisan, because I'm like Jesus, radical, and I'll go the way he wants me to go. But this year there's a shift. I have told Hanifa, I have told other candidates that have come on the show, there's a shift this year. There's something more powerful and bigger and greater than all of you that are running for office.
I pray a lot.
And I know that you will feel that, Becky. And I say this to anyone, doesn't matter what party, so don't start jumping and judging me. And go ahead and judge me, but you look in the mirror. Anyway, how's it really been for Becky running? Besides literally running from one place to another, but
that was my biggest concern, because I have no problem like working, being prepared. competing. I just didn't want to go. I didn't want to go low. I didn't want anybody, deliberately doing anything hurtful. So that's when I was talking to folks. They're like, "Boy, you'd be great." But I said, I'm still human and I'm sensitive. So some of that stuff would affect me. But Bob and Mr. Chittister, we had a meeting the other night, and they're like, "This has been so much fun." And we have Pete Buttigieg's poster on the wall, and he has like teamwork, respect, fun.
That's
love.
awesome.
So I'm like, I'm a human and I struggle. And I have my moments, but I really try to do what God tells me.
Yeah, and that's the key word. It should be fun. Last election, I was like disgusted. I won't mention what race and whom. You guys know who you are, but you heard me on the radio. It really moved me and touched me. This last election from June here in Lake County, I was so disgusted by people's behavior. And you said the key words. It should be fun, respectful. What were the other words you said you were reading on a wall? It should
teamwork.
Be teamwork.
They have a lot.
Yeah.
But I kind of liken it to a basketball game. You work hard, you play fair, and whoever wins, good for them. And then you go and you enjoy each other's company. I have some of my best friends, and that's one of the things I tell to my kids, that we've been in this so many years, and I don't think maybe one or two, but most of the people from every other town, "Hey Becky, how you doing? How's the kids?" Because you
should be looked at as a person.
Yeah, you still have to be a decent human.
Yes, a decent human being.
I am a cheerleader. I was a cheerleader, and I'm kind of loud, but I'm like, I'm cheering for everybody.
That's right.
And the back door was open. I was like, "The back door." And they're like, "She's supposed to be saying that."
Okay,
so.
Cheerleader. You mean you do cartwheels?
I used to. It's kind of tough nowadays. But my mom's still pretty limber.
Wow, at 90. Well, God bless your parents. Any last minute you want to mention? Where can they find you? What are your channels, your websites, or things like that?
Isn't it like the phone? You just go on your phone. It can be Facebook. I have 2 pages on there, LinkedIn. And I asked my kids to help me with Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat. And
what's your handle? What are you official? Becky something, or was your full name?
I think it's Becky, and it's mostly Becky. And then if you put like Matea in or Commissioner and things are popping up, I think you can find stuff everywhere. But
in other words, Google her.
Yeah. And thanks again very much. It was a pleasure. And I was mentioning I love the music, and one of the ones that sticks in my head, it was I think a Sunday. "Prepare ye the way of the Lord," and I hadn't heard that in ages. And I'm like, I was just, you guys have some really good music, a lot of variety here on this station.
Yeah, we keep it like back in the day, soul music, and just awesome. Well, thank you again, Becky, for coming on our show. And you have anything else to add or ask or?
Well, yeah. Other than, like I said, let me ask you this. There's only, 2 weeks left before the November 3rd election.
43 days.
43 days.
What do you think you need to do that you haven't done, the remainder part from today on towards November the 3rd, that will put you over the top? What do you think you need to do as far as your own campaign?
Well, I just so you know, I was slated, so I didn't even run in the fall. So that's already a big disadvantage. And he's an incumbent. And there's some other factors that probably, being a woman, I think that's still something.
Well, this year's the year of women.
But one of my philosophies is because we worked so hard. It's like all those people that I met are for me. There were a lot in Lake County, but we had a lot in Porter County too. And so, I met a lot of union people. I met a lot of Pete's people. I met, Frank's people, the teachers, Roy. So I'm hoping that blue wave and that, those folks come out and say, yeah, we want people like Becky and that who she associates with. So
that's awesome.
Doing the same things we did, every little thing.
Thank you so much.
Calls, lit drops. Thank you.
Well, we wish you well.
Thank you so much.
And, may God be with you always.
Thank you.
We'll talk soon.
All right.
This is Nuestra Comunidad NWI. We have just a few minutes left. Issues and answers will be right here after this show. And thank you for joining us. We thank you for being with us and being loyal to us. And for those that are listening, we know that we have you to listen to our show. You may not call, but please, can you make Juan's day and call? No, because Juan has been adamant about it, saying call. We want to know that you're listening, whether you like something, whether you want us to add something. If you want to, hey, I'll bring a celebrity on. I have some publicists that I need to call and phone in, and because I'm reaching to the stars, but I'm reaching to my stars because I'm part of the stars, right? And I dream big and I do big, and just keep watching and see what God is doing. And he's getting ready to manifest so much greatness in this country. Even if we don't see it, he's working. Even if we don't feel it, he's working. What we got going tomorrow? We're going to talk about politics. We got a parade coming on tomorrow, Juan. Do you know what time the parade is in Hammond, Indiana? This is bright.
11 o'clock, is it?
Hugs.
Oh, 1 o'clock or something like that?
The Hugs Committee,
Yeah.
the Hugs organization. I was like, wow, they're pulling it through. And this is social media distancing. The Hugs Culture Committee is actually going to have their annual Mexican Independence Parade for free in Hesville, and that's tomorrow at 1 p.m. 169th Street and North, sidewalks only. It says, due to COVID-19, we encourage no candy, and all participating must remain in their vehicles at all times and practice social distancing of at least 6 feet apart. And no walkers. We also encourage everyone watching to practice social distancing and wear face coverings. Registration at noon and only accepting donations. Well, kudos to you. And that is Hugs Cultural Committee. So go and like their page as well. That's with Alberto Ochoa. You're doing good, Beto. You're doing good. And everybody that's in that committee, you're doing really, really, really good too. And I'm seeing on another note, and that's because, I love Pastor Kelly. My respects to Pastor Kelly. I remember when he first had gotten his church, the very beginning in East Chicago, in the harbor, right there on Columbus Drive. And is it Elm Street on the corner? Right. And he did a lot of work for his church, and he's still there. And, I love Dr. Kelly Williams, too. And congratulations on that interview, Dr. Williams. I miss you. I haven't talked to you in a while. And Dr. Williams has set a great example by leading it, that now it follows with Pastor Kelly. And Pastor Kelly is going to be interviewing Frank Mrvan and Woody. Actually, at 7 o'clock. I just happened to have gotten it because I've been following Pastor Kelly, and he's doing great things. And I have to applaud those that do good for the greater good and being selfless. So on that note, Juanito, I guess we got to go. We'll be back tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Don't go anywhere. We got issues and answers coming up next. And just we want to thank you for listening to Nuestra Comunidad NWI.
All right. Till tomorrow.
Nos vemos. Hasta mañana. See you guys. Hasta la próxima. Bye, YouTubers. We'll be back. And we are back to YouTube. Thank you.